Good morning, students. Hope you all are well. So, we are discussing the chapter control and coordination. So, already we have discussed about our central nervous system, that is our brain and spinal cord, and today we are going to discuss our peripheral nervous system. Okay. Okay. So, in peripheral nervous system, we have two types of nerves: cranial nerves and spinal nerves. So, cranial nerves are generally originate from our brain. They are 12 pair in number. So, how many cranial nerves are present in our body? 12 pair. So, they transmit both the sensory and the motor signals. Optic nerve, auditory nerve, these are some examples of our cranial nerves. Next is our spinal nerves. So, as you can see from this name, spinal nerves will originate from our spinal cord. So, these are spinal nerves. They are 31 pair in number in our body, and these are also mixed nerve. Okay. Next is autonomic nervous system. Okay, so autonomic nervous system are present at the two sides of our backbone. So these nerve fibers are located on two sides of our backbone. They generally control some of our body functions or internal functions of our body, like heartbeat, blood flow, breathing, etc. So some actions, these are not under control, are called the involuntary actions. Okay, so autonomic nervous system is of two types: sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. So sympathetic nervous system, it prepares the body for the action towards some violent and intense physical activities that requires a huge energy. Okay, and parasympathetic nervous system, it restore and re-establish the body into normal condition. That means sympathetic nervous system means it is the huge action of our body, and where we need lot of energy, but in parasympathetic nervous system it restore our energy and re-establish our body into its normal condition. Like an example of autonomic response, that is sympathetic nervous system increases our heart rate or our heartbeat, whereas the parasympathetic nervous system slows it down. Okay, so these are generally function simultaneously. Okay, one disease is there, that is meningitis. Actually it is the inflammation of the protective layer of our brain. Meninges is the protective covering of our brain. So meningitis, it is the inflammation of the protective covering of the brain and our spinal cord. The inflammation occurs due to some bacterial infection in the CSF or in the cerebrospinal fluid that present inside the brain. It can be a life-threatening disease because of the inflammation to the brain and spinal cord. Okay, so some symptoms occur like headache, fever, stiff neck, etc. Next, reflex action. Reflex action and the reflex arc and some neurons that are associated or that are control this reflex action in our body. Okay, so reflex action is also an involuntary response. We cannot control this. So it is a sudden involuntary response to the body that brought about by a stimulus. Whenever we are exposed to a stimulus, we give a response. So that is the reflex action, and also it is an involuntary response. So it happens without any thinking, like when you accidentally place your hand on a sharp pin, your hand is you removed your hand immediately. Okay, so you don't think about it. So this is the reflex action. So similarly, whenever we are touching any hot object, at that time we are immediately moves our hand from there. So that is also a reflex action. So reflex action is controlled by our spinal cord, and this action is very quick actions. Okay, so it is a neural pathway that involved in this reflex action, and that is known as the reflex arc. Okay, so it is the shortest path taken by a nerve impulse to travel from a receptor to an effector in a reflex action is called the reflex arc. Okay, so there are some components in a reflex arc. One is the receptor, next sensory neuron, association neuron, motor neuron, and the effector. So this is the diagram of the reflex arc. So one object is there. Next next there is the receptor, then some neurons are there which transmit the signal into our spinal cord, and after that another neuron is there which transmit that signal into the organ or to the effector part of our body. Okay, so receptor. What is receptor? So receptor is a cell or group of nerve ending generally present in our skin that receives the stimulus and from the environment and send that stimulus through the nerve where to the spinal cord, right? So receptor receive the stimulus what we are getting from the environment, and they transmit this stimulus or this impulse through some nerves to the spinal cord. So next is the sensory neuron. So sensory neuron detects a signal from the receptor. That means after receptor there is sensory neuron. So sensory neuron will receive that signal or the stimulus and convert it into a nerve impulse so that it can transmit through the nerves, and it transmit it towards the spinal cord. Okay, next there is association neuron. So this neuron is contained in the spinal cord. It converts a sensory nerve impulse into a motor nerve impulse. Okay, means after that the brain or the spinal cord will give us instruction that move your hand from there, like that. So now there is motor neuron. So from the spinal cord the instructions will come, or the motor impulse will come. So this neuron carries the impulse that away from the spinal cord to the effector organs. Oh, okay, so next is effector organs. So an effector is a part of our body. It can be a muscle, it can be a gland, okay, it can be an organ. So that respond to the stimulus on receiving the impulse through the motor neuron. Okay, so certain reflex actions like watering of mouth after seeing and getting the smell of your favorite food. Okay, so these are some reflex actions, and such reflexes are known as conditions reflected reflexes, because already you have experienced that taste of the food, so that whenever you are thinking of that food your mouth will be watering. Okay, so you can see this is the diagram of the reflex arc. So here is an hot object. So whenever we are giving our hand in that hot object, the stimulus will transmit through the receptor organ, and after that it will convert into the nerve impulse through the sensory neuron, and the nerve impulse will go into our spinal cord, and from the spinal cord the instruction will come through the motor neuron, and from the motor neuron it will goes to the effector organ, and in a quick action we can move our hand from there. So all this is the reflex action and the reflex arc.